Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third round of the 2013 LFSCART Series. Jonathan Palmer and Dominik Engel with you for this Westhill Grand Prix from Westhill Internationals, the first day of June 2013. And, we've had Westhill in the LFSCART Series for all into the sixth season of it now. It's It is one of the fastest tracks in LFS. It's one of the more dull scenery tracks, I think we can say, Dom. But it is challenging to keep fast times here.
Yeah, certainly isn't. There isn't a lot of scenery around it, but then that's probably a good thing because you can't afford to be distracted here, especially for the first two sectors. Your lines have to be bang on, turning points bang on, because even though this track is quite wide, actually, the high speeds mean that you only really have one line for the whole track. And the third sector is very, very tricky coming onto the throttle out of the slow corners. And I guess that's going to lead to the most overtakes today, mistakes.
And if you do have a mistake, especially in the fast first several corners, the runoff is really, really scarce compared to the speeds. You would expect a little more runoff for how fast some of these corners are. The walls are quite close through the first 4 or 5 corners.
Yeah, especially in turn 4 and right-hander going downhill. It's got a lot of camber, but hasn't got a curb on the outside. So if you put a wheel off, it's just going to go flying into the wall 9 out of 10 times, and that's most likely going to ruin your race if you get it wrong. So, well, yeah, it's important to be careful, especially on high fuel and cold tires, because well, it could really make all the work you did previously and just turn it into a whole pile of not very pleasant things.
Yep. So this is the third round of the 2013 campaign. We had a pretty good first couple rounds. Low attendance, lower than we kind of expect. But both races having some pretty good action, some interesting strategy choices. 2 different winners, 2 different races. Most recently, 2 weeks ago, Blackwood Jarl Tyen using some interesting pit strategy to win the race. What do you think of the first 2 races so far, Dom?
First two races really did show what we were going to be in for the whole season. A very high contrast in, well, I won't say quality, but in preparation levels and pace levels from the grid. You have a few people on the top, which are preparing, training, making sure they don't make mistakes. And then at the bottom end, we've seen, well, some rather less impressive performances, really. Like last round, for example. And well, it's something that hasn't been as extreme in the past, if I'm honest. And it's probably, if it wasn't for the changing attendance rates, like we don't have the round 1 winner here, we don't have the round 2 winner here, the championship would be relatively boring, but thanks to their non-attendance, it's probably going to be much more interesting.
Yep, on the screen right now, the top 15 in the driver's points. Leading currently Artu Yilostalo, who is here, 85 points. 5 points back is Jesse Telka, who has finished third in the first 2 rounds. Jani Vahakovas in third, fourth, Robin Heigerman. Tied for fifth, Timo Suninen and Jarl Tyen. So the 2 drivers who have won races are tied. Nathan Lamont, 7th. Tony Latinmäki, 8th. Ronnie Krampusch, 9th. Ilari Usela, 10th. Jaroslav Dunelik, 11th on 39 points, along with Ray Kingsbury and Zdenek Kagash. 14th, Matthias Pivelka and Thorsten Ulrich, 15th. Having a look at the top of the teams table, Core Racing leads, tied with Genuine Racing on 108 points. Team Virus, Race Green Autosports, Last Lap Motorsports, Dynamics Racing, Iron Club, the first of 3 variances of the Infinity name, which are logged as separate teams to the official purpose. If the team wants those merged, they'll have to ask, as the formation lap is about to start. Savage Sim Sports 9th on 29 points. So it's that is almost all of the teams. We've had 16 separate 16 separate team names compete. And then also the third and final championship classification of the LFSCART Series, the Nations Cup. Finland leads on 85.5 points. The team's championship is combined of the top 2 finishing drivers for that team. Nations Cup is the average of the average points earned by the top 2 finishing drivers who are linked to that nation. So Finland, 85.5 points. We have seen many Finns in the series so far. Netherlands second on 41 points, 29 for Czech Republic. Latvia 27 in 4th. Norway, Canada, USA all close together. England 8th, Germany 9th on 15 points. Germany has usually been one of the more dominant nations in LFSCART, but not this year yet. Austria, Bulgaria, Poland, Lithuania, Ireland, and Turkey all having been represented this season so far. And as we are on the formation lap now, Dom, what do you expect for this round?
Very conservative strategies, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be that hectic at the start. I expect everyone to just take quite a bit of fuel, not change tires in the race unless there's a very late race safety car, and just try and find their spot in the pack where they can get a gap to the guy behind and maybe be able to challenge to the front. Although obviously if everyone tries to do that, that's not going to happen, is it?
Yep, absolutely, as we see the cars making their way around the formation lap. High or low downforce is the flavor of the day?
Neither. It's kind of medium downforce here. It's more downforce than you would need in qualifying, but it's less downforce than you would need, for example, at either of the last 2 tracks, where tires were a problem. Here, because of the nature of the track, that you have so many high-speed corners. The downforce, even if it's only medium, is still sufficient enough to not make your tires scrub too much and take the life out of them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe there's one or two cars who are on either slightly less or slightly more downforce. I guess we'll have to wait and see in the first few laps of the race.
All right, as the field grids up, quick look at the grid. R2 Yellow Stylo pole, Martin Kapal 2nd, Krasimir Ivanov 3rd, Jesse Tugla 4th, Tony Latinmäki 5th, Axel Falk 6th, Torsten Ulrich 7th, Roland Osa 8th, Skirmantes Stankevicius 9th, Matthias Pipelka 10th, 11th is Ronnie Krampusch, Jaroslav Donilik 12th, 13th, Zdenek Kagash, Matthias Lind 14th. Dustin Dawes did not set a qualifying time. He is starting from the pit lane. So you see all the cars now starting to form up on the grid. And the chase car has reported that the rear of the grid is good. You'll get a notification. 5 seconds till start lights. They will come on 1 second at a time. When all 5 are out, there'll be a pause between 2 and 5 seconds. They will go out. 4 lights, 5 lights, ready for the start. And it's away we go. Green flag. Yellow Stello has a good start. Kapal staying alongside him. But tucks in just
with a very good start from the second row.
Everyone in the top cleanly through so far. I don't see any evidence of an incident behind. Tukla is dropped back now a few positions.
Capel ran wide through 2. He's going to be taken by Krasivanov through the
And off!
second
Off!
corner.
That's Latimäki. Latimäki off at turn 4. Or turn 3. That's a big hit. Not sure if he'll have any
damage. Surprising. Well, wait, it just updated now. His car's completely smashed to bits, really. That's going to be probably an instant pit stop.
Capel falling back now. He's been overtaken by Torsten Ulrich. Ulrich starting 7th and coming up to 4th now ahead of Capel as Ivanov is now broken free. Jesse Telka leads a bit of a train with Ulrich and Capel. Capel looking to try and get around Ulrich for the 4th position, heading into the final corner. And see if Capel can stay tight, he can get a good draft into turn 1.
And there we go, there goes the slipstream, up the front straight. Much faster down the front straight, right through now through the first corner. It can be very treacherous to drive behind another car through that first corner because it can just completely throw you off the circuit.
Osa has gone wide at turn 2. That is, would you say that's something fairly easy to do, run wide at corner 2?
It certainly is, yeah. It's slightly off camber that corner, and just the speed you're entering through it with is very, very high. So, especially if you're close to another car, you really got to watch out. Well, I would say everyone who's kind of in a, who's kind of on his own at the moment, or charging to the car in front, is probably in a better situation now, because everyone's got to get their tires up to temperature and get into a rhythm before anyone is all over the back of him.
Absolutely. Just watching Krasimir Ivanov gap 3/4 of a second at the line at the completion of the 3rd racing lap, or the 2nd racing lap, excuse me. 47 of 49 laps to go. Latimäki having that big incident, he has made a pit stop to repair, which does get his compulsory pit stop out of the way. Remember, there is a compulsory pit stop required of all competitors during an LFSCART race. Hearing that Roland Osa off again, looks like at turn 2. And got a little bit of left rear damage. Oh, his left rear toe is off. Look at that.
He's been in the wall with that. He's probably gonna. Well, I'm pretty sure he's gonna pit instantly because with that toe damage, you absolutely have no control over that thing. It's just twitching left, right, and center, as you can see as he's going off instead of the right way in the chicane.
Look at that wheel. He's going in a straight line, but it's crabbing. He is having to hold the wheel to the left by about 10 degrees, 10-15 degrees, just to go in a straight line.
Going right is really not nice in that car.
Krasimir Ivanov sets fast lap.
As he did last time round, they're not very far apart in pace, the top two.
On board Krasimir Ivanov as they head through the fast sweeping section of the track, turn 5 now.
They've been within a 10th of a second the last 2 times around the track, so...
Osa has retired from the race with that damage, so deciding to have no further part in.
From the looks of it, he would have been even behind Latimäki after his pit stop, so he probably thought it's not worth it to continue.
In yesterday's LFSCART light race here with Cox, bearing in mind that the Fox is about 95% of the lap full throttle around here. The top two, James Peace and Axel Falk, were having a pretty good battle. They weren't close to each other per se. They weren't directly side by side, but they were trading fast laps. They were trading fast sectors. They were Falk would close a little bit, Peace would pull it back out. Peace would make a mistake, Falk would close in, but then a lap or two later, Falk would make a mistake. Do we think this could be another battle kind of similar to that, where they're chasing each other, trading sector times, trading mistakes?
It's a lot harder to do that way because you get affected by the 38 coming over a car in front of you much easier. And I think once the guy in front makes a mistake, it's almost impossible to really fend it off.
General Car 71, Stankovic having an off in turn 5, I would presume clipped the grass either on the exit of 4 and spun off. It is really easy to clip the grass when you're on the outside of the exit of turn 4. Some people may remember that area track from Master of Endurance, Jason Lovett, having a fairly big incident at that corner in MOE years ago.
It's really not an ideal corner with, well, obviously there's the curb on the entry or the exit, so just putting a wheel off a little bit too much of the sort of track and you're gone. You can't possibly catch that. Because usually you're going through that corner at well over 200 kilometers an hour. Ivanov already ran wide for turn 3 behind LFSCART just there. Was very close to him. If it had been in a different section of the track, he probably could have made a pass.
Ulrich and Falk having a side-by-side battle through the downhill chicane. Oh, and they've touched! What a save by Falk!
Ulrich just lost it and hit Falk, and wow, that was... I can't believe he held that.
And a very sporting gesture, Ulrich, to not carrying on, letting Falk stay ahead, even though Ulrich is now several car lengths behind Falk.
Yeah, it was really, I'm not actually sure whether he did that on purpose or whether it was just a reflex to just brake instantly once he saw the cars going sideways in front of him, but wow, that was unbelievable. He did a very good job of not throwing away the car there, well, both of them actually.
So I've just gotten a tip from Thilo. Speaking of Jason Lovett, Thursday he finished third in a 90-minute race at Spa with the McLaren GT3 in iRacing, winning the Sim Racing Team Championship of Race Department for NX Racing.
I wish I had driven Spa on the McLaren GT3, because that would probably be better than anything I've done lately. But, yeah. Fortunately, we don't possess either that track or that car in this simulation. And and it doesn't look like it's gonna happen soon, so you just have to deal with what's there, and Ulastaro's thrown away the car! He's thrown away the car in the chicane!
Big spin. Hot. The surfaces of those tires are hot. He has dropped down to third.
Martin Capel's gonna go past him as well in a second, because those tires are gonna take a few laps to recover. There we go. Not much he can do to defend himself. Oh, not squeezing Capel either.
Ito Stallo in the black and white car. Capel in the orangish car. Golden orange car as they head out of the final corner. Capel should have the slipstream quite easily.
There we go to the inside, which is the side you obviously want for turn one. Well, started getting a bit of push in that car as he went through the draft, through turn one in the draft, that way round. Probably gonna take a while to recover those tyres. They're a bit hot. At least they're hot on all four, so it's not as bad as if only one end would be hot, or one side.
So that gives Krasimir even off the lead. One of the more well-known, as he puts a couple wheels off onto the tires. I think that aren't you agreeable to the opinion that if you don't make any mistakes, you're more likely to win, even if you're a little slower. If you stay more consistent but slower, instead of being fast for several laps, but making mistakes like Ilo Stallo has made, wouldn't you favor a little more slow but steady?
Well, in this car, consistency certainly wins over ultimate pace. Because especially it has. Oh, and he spins as well! Oh god! That's gonna give the lead to Telkula now!
He's got a little bit of toe damage on the right rear. Spun in the middle of the track outside of turn 2.
I thought that was a little bit wide, and well, it was a little bit wide, and then it just went on the grass. A prime example of what Oza must have done in lap 2 or 3.
Actually, if you look directly down on his car, does that look like it's shifted the right side wheelbase?
The car's certainly short on the right now than on the left. Which is, it's still not that bad because, most of the corners are quite fast and the downforce stabilizes the car, but it's certainly not the optimal way of, doing your first 10 laps in a race. It cost him actually a lot more than it cost R2 when he had a spin in the chicane. He just did a 360 and went right off again, even though, well, he had hot tires, but they've already recovered. Krasi had to do like a 3-point turn to get back going, because obviously he couldn't go into the middle of the racing line going no kilometers an hour and the wrong direction to the racetrack.
So Jesse Telkula leads after having stayed almost consistently all race in third in the first 2 rounds. Now goes from third to second to first. Now, is this a trend? Is Westhill biting whoever is in the lead? Will Jesse spin in a few laps? Or will he be able to keep it calm? Wouldn't that be something if he spun?
I'm not sure it's something to do with the lead, because I spun when I was in 6th in 2011, so... It's just, well, you can make one mistake and, that's the mistake and that's your race, really. not going to recover from that unless there's a safety car and you're unbelievably good on in a car that has absolutely no temperature in the tires.
Martin Capel resets fast
yeah.
lap, 1:22.42. Looking at Jaroslav Dominik, attempting to reel in Torsten Ulrich for 6th position. He's got 0.44 second gap. About half a second faster on that last lap than Ulrich. But it's a little closer through the first split.
Wasn't Martin also very fast in the race the other week around here?
Yeah, he did. Capel did participate in the test race a week and a half ago, here at Westhill. The purpose was for relicensing for a driver who had his road license revoked, but it was open to anyone, and Capel did quite well. He won, being one of only 3 cars to finish, but I think anyone who did participate, Dominik included, I think it would help. As Ulrich puts a couple wheels off, and he's really slow out of the downhill chicane. And I think Dominik has got a big run on him going into the final corner.
I don't think he can take it there because he's just going to get repassed. Oh, and he got on the grass on the inside, so that's going to compromise his exit. He might
just 2 fast laps in a row.
Be still close enough for the draft. Just a few meters missing.
A strong effect in the draft with this car as Dominik runs wide.
Whoa, it was very close to throwing the car off the circuit there.
And that is one of the things here, if you're following too close, especially in turns 2, 3, and 4, 5 in this fast part of the track, you can understeer off really easily.
Basically it's just like someone's turned the tires or the wings off when you're right behind another car. Really crazy in LFS. It's kind of bearable in the GTs, but in F08 and then it's like 3 times as bad in BF1. It's just crazy. I think it's probably way too strong for pretty much all cars, but well, it's the way it is, really. So you gotta deal with it and make sure you don't make any mistakes because of it.
So a quick look to the back of the pack. Currently running 12th, Dustin Dawes. Dustin Dawes known quite recently for his anti-iRacing posts in the forum, but it's been a long time since he's raced a proper league race. He driving for the UK computing team, which some of the more seasoned LFSers remember. The UKCT was responsible for CTRA. They were instrumental in the good old public CTRA servers. So Dustin's sporting a UKCT skin. Of Sim Touring Car Cup fame, a little bit IGTC racing for him. It's good to have Dustin back in a league race.
Don't really think CTRA were a couple of small servers, quite big to be honest. But yeah, I'm quite sad it folded before I ever got to drive it. Although I won a race in the bump and jump server once. In an RV4 with a Martini skin. Oh,
I had just leveled up on the single-seater license, and a week later CTRA closed.
I won my one race, I'm happy. Was on keyboard as well.
Yeah. While we were off marveling about the winners of CTRA and Dustin Dawes, Dominik got around Ulrich, so that just proves that the easiest way to get a pass to happen in a race is not watch at the time.
Well, don't say that, Chalao, otherwise everyone's going to shut their eyes and they're going to crash.
I think if we go back to CTRA here for a minute, I think it was one of the very detrimental and disappointing things to the LFSCART community, that closure of CTRA, but that's kind of neither here nor there. But CTRA was one of the pillars of the public racing, if not the pillar of public server daily racing and pickup racing in LFS.
It basically had everything. It had the short 10 to 15 minute races, it had the endurance day on all servers, had XFGs, GTRs, single seaters, pretty much everything really. And well, the points and the licenses thing, that really gave you something to go for, even if you weren't in a league. So yeah, and it also made sure that people who like to cause havoc don't stay there for very long. And Ulrich's off out of turn 2. Yes, he seems to have put a wheel off as well. And,
yep, came to him just in time, seems spitting. I think he pinged off the wall.
It doesn't seem like the car's bent too badly, even though he's got a bit of right rear toe and wishbone damage.
I originally went to Dustin because I'd just seen him closing in on Lind, and I think he's closing in again, which would be a scrap for 11th. And a note for future ponderance, Capel seems to be slowly catching Telkala. Dahl is in the slipstream, but he waits, staying behind Lind. Lind could have had a repass opportunity through this section. Wonder if he's going to try to get around on the main straight, if he can stay close enough.
The exit out of the slow corners is obviously very, very important around here, because that and well, mistakes of the guy in front through those two and the chicane are really the only two opportunities you can get of passing around here. And I think he's just a few meters outside the slipstream. He's gonna get it a bit too late, probably after turn 1, which is, well, frankly, where you don't want to have it actually.
And Dustin losing a bit of front downforce, washes out in the middle of the corner. Lind gaps again. Stankovic getting around Pepelka. Stankovic to the inside for turn 9. Sticks it in front. So Stankovic gains position up to 7th around Pepelka. Last lap for Telkala, 1:22.41. 1:22.29 for Capel. 15.98 first split, 15.93 first split for Telkala and Capel lately, or that last time, respectively.
And there's not too much of a pace difference really at the moment. Martin's certainly catching very, very slowly.
On board with him, looking over his left shoulder area. Into turn 9, the downhill complex.
Probably some of my least favorite corners in FOA, just after you're doing all this high-speed running, you've got that downhill chicane, and then you've got this last corner where the car just feels so light, and just a slight bit of throttle too much will instantly get the tail out instead of getting a perfect exit. And it's really, really important as well, so it can be quite frustrating around here.
Capel past lap 1:22.02 that lap. 0.38 of a second faster over the lap. Then Telkala, the gap is 1.25 seconds. It's a very short pit lane. It's a fast in and it's a fast out. How critical is the pit stop here?
Well, since no one will change tires, I think everyone's gonna run relatively long. I mean, we're already 20 laps in. We haven't really seen any regular pit stop. And so I think at best, most people seem to be doing a 50-50 strategy. Because, well, if you don't change tires, it's just not worth it. Gonna be more interesting to see what Latimaki is gonna do, whether he's gonna go through finish or not, or whether he's gonna stop again. Because, well, I presume he's probably gonna go through to the finish and hoping for a late race caution. Gonna be very interesting to see. But yeah, strategies aren't really that far apart around here.
And back in the back of the field, a little bit of a scrap down at the chicane, downhill chicane between Lind and Dawes. Gap at the top is now down to 1.11 seconds. Dominik exiting the pit lane after his pit stop. Quick running order update as we come to complete the 20th scored lap. Jesse Delcla leads from Martin Kapal. R2 Yellow Stallo led away from pole, spun. He's down to third. Axel Falk fourth. Krasimir Ivanov took the lead after Falk spun, and not more than 2 laps later, Ivanov spun, drops him down to fifth. Skirmata Stankovicius sixth. Matthias Pipelka seventh. Thorsten Ulrich eighth. Zdenek Gagash ninth. Matis Lind 10th. Dustin Dawes 11th. Yaroslav Donilik 12th. Ronnie Krompush is 13th, and Tony Latinmaki in 14th. He is still on the lead lap. Still on the lead lap, but about 90% of the lap behind. So only about a small section of the track. Latinmaki going into the downhill chicane as Telkla and Kapal are exiting the earlier chicane on the backstretch. One retirement, that's Roland Osa, retiring very early on after several incidents. Only 15 cars starting, 14 running. Looking out the back of Telkla's car, in the background, you just barely see Kapal. We'll ride along and listen. Lagging many seconds here. So total packet loss. We watch to the leader again. So Yellow Stallo has timed out. He gets pole bonus, led a few laps, running fairly well, but has timed out, so that's his race over. Gap between Kapal and Telkla now back up to 1.3 seconds. So possibly a mistake in there somewhere. Axel Falcor Racing currently running in third. One of the many Finns in LFSCART. Had 7 in the top 10 at round 1. And Falcon currently running a steady third. Finished second yesterday here in the Formula XR. In the LFSCART Light Series. LFSCART Light races are about 3/4 of the distance of a full LFSCART race. Closing in on halfway. Capal's reeling in that gap again, ever so slowly and surely. Yes, Telkula resets fast lap. 1:21.79. And just as soon as he does that, it's crazy. With a 1:21.75. So as fuel gets light, we'll see times come down.
Yeah, and everyone's tyres have been through the heat phase and are now, well, basically on the way down temperature-wise and the way up performance-wise still. So we will see the small improvements in lap time over the next 2 laps still, as we have seen so far through the whole race really.
What is the fuel situation here? Can 49 laps be made, 49 racing laps plus a formation lap be made on tank fuel? Capal in.
There we go, there's one that goes for the 50-50 strategy. Well, technically you could do, I think, every race on the calendar, except for the oval races on a tank of fuel. And maybe even on a set of tyres, but obviously it's not that clear cut. Sorry if I'm out of breath, I just had to run through half of the rooms in my house to find the phone.
Your excuse. So Capal joins 4th.
Only problem I see with doing this kind of 50-50 strategy, if there is a late safety car, and you're gonna come in to change tires, which I would advise everyone to do if there's a late safety car, you've basically given away track position way before you get to that point, because well, basically people in front of you are going to get a free pit stop, and because you're running 50% strategy, you're basically just giving away 15 seconds of race time to whomever is, well, just pitting when the safety car comes out.
And we have seen right here at Westhill the difference between worn cold tires and fresh warmer tires. Think back 2011, right here, turn 1, restart with about 7 or 8 laps to go. The second time through turn 1, the NX teammates Isaac Price, Simon Cattell racing hard for position. Isaac worn out colder tires. Simon pitted for fresh tires, came out right behind Isaac in second. Actually, I think there were a couple lapped cars between, but for all intents and purposes, right behind. And Simon had incredible pace over Isaac. Isaac did a valiant job of holding it off. They went side by side, neither one wanting to give, both fighting for the win. And result, major crash, turn 2, both heavily damaged.
Yeah, going through turn 1 here on low grip tires is, well, especially the side by side, probably one of the least favorite things I've ever done. Happened to me, well, at the start of that same race that year, I had to start lower down than I ever did in an LFSCART race, and it just meant I had to try and pass a lot of cars. It was on light fuel, but side by side in turn 1, coming out of a draft, my car was just thrown off the road instantly, so I'm not surprised there was a massive crash between those two.
Telkla pits, exits the
potentially pits. Could happen again, actually. Obviously, I don't want to jinx anyone, but there's always the possibility for it.
So Telkla has come into the pits, and he's got a huge gap over Capel. Almost 5 seconds. Just before it was about a second, just under second and a half.
Yeah, that's what a few laps do, and the fact that he was actually running the same pace but with heavier fuel. So, yeah, that's just how 4 laps of strategy can make a difference. Not only 20. Dustin in the pits.
Dawes in the pits.
Filling up on his beer, as he said before the race.
Yep, Latinmaki, just a couple laps ago, getting around Dominik. So, Latinmaki, having overtaken a couple cars just by pit stops, and Dominik on the track. Oh, and Dominik's put it off. Dominik putting it off, just takes it in turn 2, keeps it straight. But Latinmaki works his way up to 10th. Axel Falk made a pit stop, so he's out behind Capel, so that leaves Krasimir Ivanov in the lead.
Dominik is probably the guy with the most off so far, but still hasn't even bent a single corner of his car. So, well, he's thrown it off, but at least he's kept it out of the walls. And apart from from all the spins we've seen so far, we haven't actually seen any massive mistakes or any, which I think is quite a nice improvement over the last race at Blackwood.
Yep, safety car is incredibly rare here at Westhill with how wide it is. It's about the only reason you might see a safety car here is for cars stuck in the gravel in a very dangerous spot. ITCC and ITTC have had a couple flips here. GTL had a flip or 2 here, but flips very unlikely. Krasimir Ivanov resets fast lap 1:21.57.
I actually only know of two flips around here, and they were both in the chicane, and but with XRs, not with FO8.
I distinctly remember Ariel Chiodini flipping on the way into the chicane in the ITCC inaugural season.
Oh, well, I wasn't around for that. Oh, no. Oh, Dustin off and rejoins almost right into the path of Telbrilla. Could have been a disaster. He almost probably would have almost spilled his pint.
As Philo said in the race control panel, suddenly a Dustin Dawes.
But pretty much so, yes. I was gonna say that the last time someone crossed a safety car around here in LFSCART was Chris Wilkinson in 2011, but that's not true because there was one last year, but I forgot who caused it.
Krasmir even off into the pits now. We'll see where he comes out.
Also see if he tries and bend his car straight again. Nope.
So he's now been overtaken by Ivanov, he's been overtaken by Kapal, and he'll be out very close to Falk.
He should keep that position. Just. Unless Falk gets a run out of turn 2, which I think he might, because the wall
he might have a run into turn 2.
To...
If he was a little overzealous.
Yeah, but he did a good job there. He realized he would be in a draft and kept perfectly on the racing line, so... we're gonna see how that battle turns out in the next few laps.
But that I do believe that is crazy leaping Falk via the pit stop. If I remember right, Falk was in third before the pit stop cycle in these top 4.
Oh yeah.
So crazy overtaking using the pit stop.
It's just, again, the longer you can go and remain decent pace, the better it is, because you're obviously not going to lose anything from the tyres if you don't change the tyres. It's basically F1 2005 today, and some are using it to a great advantage, really.
Everyone has pitted so far except Stankovic, Ulrich, and Lynch, so 3 out of the 13 remaining cars have yet to pit. Just looking at Tony Latinmaki now as he comes onto the backstretch. He's now inside the top 10, so if he can make it the rest of the way without issue, he could be still on for a top 10 finish even after his first lap major incidents.
Also, he had back there a relatively free run. He didn't have to bowl with anyone else, even if he lost a lot of time, but at least he didn't lose any more time from just doing that. And Gash is off in
the chicane.
The race control app calls a chicane.
I would presume it's a tire hit, based on the way that nose cone is smashed in.
That front end looks amazing.
Some pity that, well, not a pity for him, but pity in general that LFS doesn't emulate aero damage.
I think it's not a pity, because then no one would be in the race anymore, because the few people who didn't crash have gone through gravel traps, and going through a gravel trap at 150 watt probably would completely destroy your aero. At least your floor and your front wing. And your barge boards.
Well, they'd just have to be a little more careful then, wouldn't they?
Well, I have to say Westhill is my least favourite track anyway, because it's so far from any reality. Oh, and there's another Pippo, because I think just gashed his car.
Yeah, and may have suffered with a wall contact, a little bit of damage on the right-hand side.
It certainly looks a lot less like a car that's completely been written off.
Just the slightest of toe damage on the right-hand side of the Papilka car.
But so far, Telkele looks like he's gonna be. Well, if he keeps his consistency up, he's gonna be in a very good position at the end of this. Wasn't he one of the few who changed tires in the safety car in round 1? Or am I getting that completely wrong?
Don't quite remember. I think he might have been.
I think he might have been, because it was...
Along with eventual race winner Timo Suninen?
I'm not sure he changed them under the safety car. I think he changed them in the middle of the race.
A million blocked and unblocked messages from Thilo?
A few years ago in IndyCar, you would have got a penalty for blocking.
Linden to the pit lane. Ooh, he misses a first pit stall. He has to let off the brakes and go for a later stall.
Which is actually one of the advantages of LFS, you have to say, because that wouldn't work in other sims. There you have
in LFS.
pit stall.
Yeah, LFS is not assigned to pit stalls.
I wonder if that's ever going to be changed, because I could see that happening, and then a lot of, well, basically, if you don't hit your marks, you're basically throwing away probably 5 to 10 seconds every time.
That would be something interesting though, because would it be now? How would it assign it? Would there be an option? Wouldn't it be a little better if there was an ability for the server owner to assign pit stalls or some consistency to the pit stall assignment, so you can practice instead of having to go into a cold indoor race?
It's not that different really, is it? LFS
Ronnie
pit lanes.
Krampus on the back straight.
Whoa.
And that whole left-hand side of the car is just junk.
Yeah, that's seen better days. Got passive rear wheel steering now. Well, actually active rear wheel steering, but only on the left rear wheel, which makes it rather difficult.
During the qualifying, I believe it was, he or someone similar had same problem, but I think it was the other side of the car got killed. So he'll be in. He'll be in for several seconds getting repaired.
I think we can be happy that, or some drivers can be happy that the accident damage in LFS does not have to be paid by them or their team, because they would probably look very sad after a season when they know they're out of a job.
And a little bit poor.
Like certain Art Gross jeans, for example.
Or a former Italian racing driver whose birthday was yesterday.
Andrea the Crasher is.
Yes.
Well, some of the DNFs in his DNF record season weren't his fault. Well, some, when I say some, quite a lot of them actually. Some were strictly speaking DNSs, so he didn't start the race. Because Romain Grosjean seems to like Red Bull so much, and he's given Daniel Ricciardo a nice hug in the Monaco Grand Prix. It was probably as chaotic as the LFSCART races have been so far this year, so someone say that this isn't realistic.
By the way, just looking through the list of birthdays on Wikipedia, happy birthday to American actor Morgan Freeman.
I don't even know who he is.
Oh, from such famous movies as The Shawshank Redemption. He was, well, let's look at his filmography.
might as well. There seems to not be a lot of action going on.
Well, let's see. He was in Million Dollar Baby. He was in Bruce Almighty. Morgan Freeman's filmography is so great that it earns its own Wikipedia article.
It really.
Dom, is it true that you don't watch movies?
Yes, it is.
That explains everything.
Yes. I think the most serious film I've ever seen was the Simpsons movie a couple of years ago in the cinema.
That's not at all impressive.
Well, it was funny.
Roddy Krampus off again at... Where is that? That is the
that
exit.
is turn one.
That's right. He's right on the approach line.
That's
turn
a new
2.
one. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before.
And Stegovicius off just ahead.
What is that one? Oh yeah, he's in the next turn.
Yeah, I wonder if he's spun just out of a distraction from Krampus.
Just quite bad because that Krampus is gonna go back again to his very nice and efficient pit crew and have half his car replaced again because the suspension is knackered. Oh, toe damage. Not gonna be very nice in left-handers.
Krampus definitely having some problems. I wonder if he'll have to pit in this lap.
Ulrich's now in the pits and straight back off. Very short pit stop. Well, they're obviously going to be shorter, coming closer to the end of the race. Oh, and he gets a drive-through! Oh my god, and that's going to cost him some time. It's probably going to put him somewhere near the reach of Lettenmack, who's now in 7th place. Probably just was a second too soon there on the limiter button and just pressed it that bit too soon, and that's a rotten bit of luck for that entire team of Race Green Autosport.
Krampus did pit, or no, he didn't pit. He did, but he didn't fix the damage.
Oh dear, well. Oh, but he changed 3 of his 4 tires. Something tells me that he didn't adjust the right option in the pit menu there.
That could be.
Because if I was him, the next thing I was gonna do is go to the pits again, change all 4 tires, and well, put some suspension on the right rear again and on the right front.
By the way, happy birthday, Martin Brundle.
To say his birthday is unbelievably close to Le Mans.
Thorsten Ulrich has just done a pass of pit lane. You have 3 laps to serve a penalty from the time of issue, so he has 2 more in.
Let's hope he's aware of that one.
I'm hearing an echo. You said it, let's hope he remembers it, and then about 10 seconds later I heard Thilo said he hopes he remembers, so I think there's a bit of an echo in here.
Maybe there is. It's big team speak after all.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh! Oh, no, wait, that's just Krampus exiting the pits. Oh, never mind then. Thought he caused the yellow flag again. Didn't change his right rear tyre though, so... well, might cause a bit of understeer on the left-handers.
So if Ulrich, who has passed the pit entry twice, if he does not serve this drive-through penalty next time by, race director Theo Falkenberg will have the ability to escalate it to a stop-go penalty.
Which would cost significantly more time, roughly 12 seconds actually.
By the way, Dom, do you know Heidi Klum?
Yes, I'm aware of her existence.
It's her birthday today as well.
Oh my god.
She's German, you know.
Well, yes, so are roughly 82 million other people, and I don't care.
Oh, you do care, Dom. Falk in
really.
the pits again. Falk in the pits again. And he's put on 4 fresh tires.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Wonder if he had a flat or something.
Don't think so, because I've just seen him drive around with enough tread to not worry about it. Maybe he's just putting on a gamble.
Is he thinking that maybe there's a chance of a late race safety car?
He didn't have enough fuel, but I wouldn't really see any other reason than either a fuel or a gamble to actually make a pit stop in that stage of a race. Was he third before, or was he fourth already?
He was 4th already.
So, I think it's probably a gamble. I think it's just,
Oh, Landon Mackey spun! Landon Mackey spun!
Oh, that was a quick 360. He could barely switch to him before he was going again. Dominik has also been doing something, which isn't... I think he probably put a wheel off out of... I'm actually not sure where.
Yeah, I think anyone watching the stream, paying attention, may have seen Landon Mackey spin. Because there's just been a report from the INSIM of contact between him and Ulrich, which does prove your prediction, Dom, that Ulrich would come out just around Landon Mackey, but Landon Mackey having a bit of a spin, and look at his tires starting to get thin.
That spin wouldn't have done them any good, but should just about be sufficient enough to get him to the end of a race, if their flat spots aren't too bad, which, well, I hope for him that they're not. Or maybe that was actually the real reason of his teammate pitting, because if they're on the same setup, I could see him getting afraid of just blowing a tyre, because round here, that's, well, you basically lose a lap. Unless it happens in the last corner, obviously, but you lose a lot of time if you have a flat around here.
Yes, Itelkala continues to lead by about 4.5 seconds from Martin Capel. Valky is on track and getting around Krampus. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Pretty good tyre life, considering he's only got 6 laps to go. Very cold though, so if there was a safety car, I would expect him to instantly go to the pits.
Five and a half laps to go. So if there was a safety car now, it'd be about a lap or two duration, and we would look at a 1 or 2 lap sprint.
Which probably wouldn't be liked by a lot of the drivers in the field.
And Ivanov is in. Krasny is in.
I think he's... I'm not sure why he's in. If he's gonna change... Yup, 4 new tires.
Fresh tires.
Stanky Vicious is also very, very marginal on the right rear. But then he's had, I think, 2 spins, so... Wonder if that's just affecting tyre wear, because... There are a few cars here who aren't comfortable at all on the tyres.
Well, look at the top 2, Telkala and Kapal. Both, neither of them having a spin, and their tires are in pretty good shape.
Yeah, certainly. If I look at tyre at the right rear of Lettenmacki, for example, it's a bit of a different story, and even more so for Stanky Vicious, because he's got absolutely no temperature left in that thing.
We've been racing for just over an hour and 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes. That's not counting the formation lap time, mind you, which does put a little bit of wear on the tires.
The most wear, the most wear from the formation lap is actually after the formation lap, because it's it's the first few laps when the tires are too cool in the core and the tread isn't fully heated, and that's when you scrub off a lot, and you scrub off a little bit more again during the heat league. So that's why I saw a lot of people, I think Telkala was one of them, who actually had rather cold tires even during his heat peak. Probably just playing safe.
Dustin Dawes is spun at the exit of the chicane. It's around turn 11. Apparently having contact with Ulrich, and that was a pretty interesting bit of tire tracks exiting that part of the corner. Looks like a bit of side-to-side contact.
Who knows? Roughly 3 laps left to go. Oh, and Stanky Vicious is causing a... Oh, he's had another spin in a chicane. Oh, and he's got a right rear puncture.
Right rear flat.
He's got a right rear puncture. That's going to be interesting. I hope he doesn't
If he
throw it off.
If he doesn't realize it, he could get stuck in the gravel.
He should know by now. Especially now, because now he'll...
Yeah, he's
there we
spun
go.
it right on the racing line.
And there's Dustin. He went round relatively nicely. And now right behind him, I think, should be... Who's that? That's our
the race
leader,
leader
that's
is
Telkala.
right behind, closing in.
Oh, there we go!
He spun right in front of Telkala.
Oh, put in one! He's gotta get out!
Oh, Kapal, he's gonna... Kapal's
Oh!
gone! Kapal kept it! And now both rear tires are flat on Stankovicius.
No way he's gonna hold that, and there we go around again.
Safety car is not on standby.
It would be quite ridiculous, frankly, because he's about 50 meters from the pit lane. If it's gonna take him a while to get there, wow, he actually held that rather nicely around there. Even as a massive tank slapper tried to brake. That's what I was talking about. The spins just take out so much life from the tires with all the flat spots you put on them. think maybe some of the people who did change tyres are feeling rather smart right now.
Absolutely.
And have every reason to do so. But yeah, that was just a classical example of how spins can affect your race. Even if they don't even cost you that much time.
Tuckler now into his final lap.
To celebrate it, he puts the wheel off on the edge to turn 1, which could have gone wrong if it happened a few meters further down the road.
He's got a 3-second gap. He just needs to take it easy. He's got a Dustin Dawes in front to get around.
Doesn't take any chances on the lapping either, which is probably the smartest thing to do.
Look at a draft.
And he's actually out of gear.
Yeah, out of gear. That's just incredible. So, through the downhill chicane for the final time. Little slide.
That gets on a bit of a twitch.
So into the parabolic corner. Final corner now. Stankovic is off again in turn 2 with a pretty big impact with the wall. No problems there. Telkula to the inside to cross the line. Jesse Telkula wins round 3 of the 2013 LFSCART Series ahead of Kapal. Krasimir Ivanov now coming through the final corners.
Actually the first of the cars to have done 2 pit stops.
So here comes Krasi, and not too far behind will be Axel Falk. So Krasimir Ivanov takes 3rd, and Falk comes across the line to take 4th.
Ulrich is out of fuel! Ulrich is out of fuel in the final few corners!
Cannot get a push on the final lap. Cannot get a push on the final lap. You have to finish.
Well, there's no way he can finish. There's no way he's gonna finish the race. Because, well, it's all uphill all the way from where he is at the moment, and he's already only coasting. So, well, whoever calculated the fuel numbers got it somewhat wrong in his case. That's 1/5 place blown. No, he is closer to a stop now.
Yeah,
Probably
stop.
won't be. Probably, yeah, there we go. Got spectated by the system. An unfortunate way to end the race, really. Certainly, probably wasn't planned, I'd presume.
No, I don't think anyone ever plans to run out of petrol.
I think the last ones I've seen it do was My 3ID Gaming GT2 in MOE 0910.
Right here at Westhill.
Yeah, exactly, at Westhill, and they did it exactly the same way. Although I think they actually ran out on the first of the back straights, not on the second one. So they ran out even further away from home.
So, as we look at the top 3 on the finish line, quick look at the final results. Provisional, of course. Jesse Tuckler wins from Martin Kapal. Krasimir Ivanov 3rd, 4th Axel Falk. Tony Latimäki 5th. Torsten Ulrich 6th. He will be classified as the first car a lap down, so still getting a 6th place finish out of that. 7th, Matthias Lind. Jaroslav Dominik, 8th. Zdenek Tagash, 9th. 10th was Matthias Pipelka. Skimates Stankevicius, 11th. 12th, Dustin Dawes. And the final runner, Ronnie Krampusch, 13th. Retirements are to Yilo Stallo and Roland Osa.
User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel.
So as we work to get everyone here in the TeamSpeak. So Dom, on your mind, what was the race like?
Well, it was
User was moved to
pretty
your
much a
channel.
procession race, all about strategy, all about consistency, and the tires. So it's just like Formula One, except without all the retarded things that they added to Formula One in the last few years. Quite enjoyable. Certainly makes you wonder what's going to happen in the future few rounds. And well, the next one isn't too far away at Kyoto.
Alright, we'll get a little more with you in a minute, but first, got all three of the top three here in the channel as they are parked on the start finish line. Congratulations to the winner from Finland, Jesse Tukla. Second from the Czech Republic, Martin Kapal. And Bulgarian Krasimir Ivanov in third. Jesse, fantastic run. You kept it consistent. Did you have any problems, any worries today?
Oh yeah, it was so easy, you can't believe it. No, it wasn't. Well, I just tried to keep it on track, and well, I managed it to do it. So, and it led to victory when other made some mistakes. So I'm really happy for my maiden victory, and I hope that this won't be the last one.
In the time between Martin's pit stop and your pit stop in the middle of the
User joined your
race,
channel.
you worked out a pretty good gap. Did you push at all harder after Kapal pitted, or did you just do your same and the natural pace increase? Or did you have a really good pit stop, you think? What did you think increased that gap by 2 or 3 seconds over Kapal at the pit stop?
Well, of course, when I went a bit longer, so it helped, but I just drove like I drove for whole race, so...
Alright, we'll come back to you in just a minute. Martin Kapal, second place. Good race, consistent race from you. What'd you think?
Wow, that was quite fortunate for me. I think the ones who made these mistakes got the best results today, because I didn't expect this at all. Good job by Jesse, great pace. Till the end I was a bit faster than him, but it wasn't enough to get in the draft and possibly fight for the win, but yeah, good job. I had a really bad start, as usual, so sorry to everyone who I probably held up a bit. But then I managed to keep the pace and avoid getting out of the track. Shame about Ivanov going out and spinning in front of me. He did a really good job. He had a good pace too. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. Probably my best result in LFSCART so far.
Late in the race, Stankovic flat tire in the final sector of the lap, spinning across the track right in front of you. What was going through your head when you saw him spinning sideways across the track, skating across the track directly in your path?
Oh my god, that was so scary. At first, I thought he was gonna crash Jesse, but then he was coming out of the grass towards me, so I was quite lucky to avoid him. So yeah.
Alrighty, and third place, Krasimir Ivanov. Krasi,
Yep.
R2 spun off in front of you. You took the lead. Lap or two later, you repeated the mistake. What happened?
Well, basically, the start went quite well when R2 just spun, and my plan was to build some gap. But then I did that mistake at turn 2, and I couldn't ask for more than a podium today. And as you saw, after my spin, I had some rear axle damage with later in the race. Played really bad joke on my rear tires, so I had to pit at the variant because I didn't want to take any stupid risk. So yeah.
Late in the race, you and Falk made pit stops. So you took fresh tires. Were you concerned about your tires late in the race? Is that why you took fresh tires? Was that kind of just a strategy played just in case there was a late race safety car?
Actually, no. I wasn't planning to change any tires, but after I got that damage after my spin, I saw that the rear tires are being eaten like hell, and they were under 90 degrees, no grip or anything. I saw I had pretty nice gap to the driver behind me, and so I took the way to pit, and basically that was the plan B.
Alrighty, back to Jesse. What you've had third place in the first two rounds. You were second in the championship, so now you're obviously quite clearly in the championship lead. What are you looking forward to the rest of the season? Do you think you have a chance to win in future rounds?
Well, hopefully at least I'm working for that I can challenge for the victory every round. So I already look forward to that Kyoto round, and I hope that I will fight for the victory there too.
Alrighty, thank you all, and we will do the usual comments in your native language, starting with Jesse.
Joo, aika jokusi, mutta sit kisa meni vähän niin kuin odotettiin, että voittohan sieltä tuli tästä sit kohti mestaruutta. Kiitoksia Apinalle, Tonille, Sampsa Jurvansuulle, Westhillin kuninkaalle ja Joonas, jonka ei pitäisi olla bannattu ja hänen bannit pitäisi ottaa pois, koska ja hän pilasi myös Simo Maine. Kiitos.
Thank you, and Flame.
No, tak dneska to byl hodně pěkný závod. Byl jsem překvapený z toho, jak jsem dojel. Vyvaroval jsem se větších chyb, držel jsem si docela slušný tempo. A těšil jsem jenom z chyb ostatních. A celkově i Češi si vedli docela pěkně. Jarda 7., Zdeněk tak až 8. A celkově Savič, škoda, že Roland nedojel. A jinak ten Finn, co mluvil minulý závod, tak si myslím, že má naprosto pravdu. Díky všem.
Alright, thank you, Martin. And finally, Krezi.
Може би резултатът днеска не беше толкова добър, но следващия път се надяваме за по-добре и може би за по-хубаво. Искам да поздравя българи, които ни гледат, ме гледат по-точно. И да, това е за вас и се надявам някой път да покараме, може би. Yeah, over.
All right, thank you. Once again, your top three winner, Jesse Tukla, second, Martin Kapal, and third, Krasimir Ivanov. Congratulations and good luck with the rest of the season. So, completion of the third round of the season, Dom. On the season so far, 3 different winners, 3 different rounds. Decent start to the season, if only low attendance.
Yeah, certainly, and well, a somewhat better race than we saw last time out at Blackwood this time, and well, things are probably not gonna get worse from here. So I think it's definitely worth it to look forward to the next few rounds at K32R, and then obviously the
disconnected from your
turn left
channel.
500. Well, certainly completely impossible to predict the winner for the latter one of that. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait to see that.
Kyoto 32, of course, an open config track, quite a long track. It is essentially KY3R, except the other way around on the oval. Got that. Got a South City round coming up, a Fern Bay round later in the season. So definitely a big challenge still remaining on the season.
Certainly the Fern Bay race, I guess, has got to be one of the most difficult ones to be error-free in. South City as well, being SO5R, certainly one of the hardest tracks that's been in LFSCART from all the South City tracks. To keep it out of the walls there, keep your tires together, and well, I think it's certainly not going to become easier, but I think if you sign up to this, you probably know that before you even attend a single round of the championship.
Yep. So next round in 2 weeks' time, June 15th, 1835 UTC right here on SimRace.tv Stream 1. Speedweek's Road 250K on 15th, 33 laps at K32R. Following that, June 29th, the 6th annual Kyoto 500, 268 laps of the oval. Then South City, Kyoto reversed, Fern Bay Gold reversed, and then season finale August 24th, long way away at Kyoto National. I'd like to thank Thilo Falkenberg, race director and LFSCART chairman, Stuart Baker, safety car driver, rescue car drivers and stewards Thomas Harris, Jonathan Provost, and of course all of you for tuning in, all the racers for participating. SimRace.tv has been a great provider, so we look forward to continuing using them. All the LFSCART races will be on SimRace.tv for the remainder of the season. Every 2 weeks, Kyoto 500 will have a special start time, as will the oval, but we will be sure to advertise that well in advance. And once again, congratulations to your winner, Jesse Telkala, taking the win, leading the most laps. So for Dominik Engel, I'm Jonathan Palmer from Westhill. Good night, everyone.